What's going on, guys? xiangqi here. In this video I'd like to share a couple of games which are played on 13 by 13 and 19 by 19 board, but what has happened in these games is literally similar, and all these games are about the principles like you fight, you lose. And it doesn't obviously mean that if you actually fight and go, then you lose. Not at all. It's more like about understanding the principles of the games and the priorities. So if you're a beginner and playing less than a month like I do, that probably, and if meanwhile if you're trying to study like master games, watching YouTube videos like how the professionals actually explaining the theory, the principles of the game, like the culture of the game and things like that. So if you're really kind of involved within the process and trying your very first games online, then what you encounter most likely if you're playing lower ranked, lower rated players like you are yourself basically, most likely you would encounter the situation when opponent is trying to crush you straight ahead, and by saying crush you, I mean not grabbing the territory, because it seems like they don't understand the scope of the game, but instead they trying to fight straight away, and by saying fight, I mean they are trying to capture your stones. And that's very annoying, especially when you want to play something beautiful. You're thinking about the shapes, you're trying to make some territory, and the guy is trying just to surround your stones and just to kill your stones, and that's so annoying. And I've lost a whole lot of games because of that. And I was thinking like, what can I actually do in order to prevent that? And I was trying to search for some materials online, but I actually didn't find any answers to that question until I have actually realized that on myself. So this is something very similar to what happens in chess. So to have a successful attack, you need to have a position that makes that possible, and exactly the same thing happens in Go. So if you have a better position, then this fight is gonna be in your favor. So if you're starting the fight yourself, you need to make sure that you have a position that actually suits that purpose as well. Or alternatively, if opponent starts fighting you in the place where you have an advantage, it's also important to see that and try to make use of that. And these two games I'm about to show you in this video are about this principle. Well, they are not perfect, and again, probably I've blundered a whole lot of things, and I could have lose both of them. But anyway, hopefully the principles that I'm trying to talk about is going to be useful, and hopefully this is going to be serving as a nice beginner's motivation to not give up playing and actually to approach towards the mastering of calculations in Go, because that's one of the basic skills, one of the very important skills. Unlike the previous games that I've been analyzing here, there is no much things about like openings, territory, any theory, and no josekis or something like that. It's more about just making this single idea of preventing opponent to fight in your own favor. So we'll first have a look at the game played on 13 by 13 board, because it's just easier to see this principle in this game, and then we'll see exactly the same principle on 19 by 19 board. I mostly play on 19 by 19 board because that's classics, but I just happened that I decided to accept this challenge and eventually won it. So let's try to focus on the very gist, and without further ado, let's actually start. So I'm going to game analysis, and we go back to the very beginning of the game. All right, so couple of opening moves. So far so good. So here white looking to make some territory here, and potentially if he's happy to put the stone here, then maybe he would have this corner, then potentially trying to grab this part, then potentially trying here, and black is doing something on the other side. So who's better? That guy is gonna be winning. That's how the double digit Qs play Go, right? And here I close, so I really want to ensure that this is gonna be like my territory in future. Not sure about this move. Maybe a little bit of like a wasting time move. So probably I can't say. I'm not at that level to judge basically, but I think that doing something like this is going to be better because you just secure more territory in this case, and if white invades like I did, in that case you can just secure the corner like this, for instance, and then you just if white tries to build, then you can go to the counter, and the game seems to be more or less balanced, or even black can pincer here, white can go here, and again black can go here, and here we might have something interesting like this. But this didn't happen in the game, unfortunately. So what has happened in the game that he played this move, so I'm securing the corner, so now hopefully this corner is going to be mine forever. Okay, so he does the same, which is good. And at this point, I am invading his site. And you might be wondering, like, maybe I'm too greedy or something, but you just bear in mind that I'm playing whites, and if I'm passive and if I just try to grab this territory, I'm one move behind, and if he starts invading to my site, that's going to be an advantage for him because he's black, he's playing first, and it's probably like... So when you're playing white, I believe you're more like about destroying opponent's territory and more like trying to prevent him developing rather than developing on your own. So kind of preventing black from developing, I believe, is a major thing to consider if you're playing whites, no matter what level of play it is. If I'm wrong, if anyone knows that there is a better like explanation for that, then please kind of let me know in the comments. I would like to know that as well. And here, what he does, so I don't know, maybe he was trying to capture my stone, or I have no idea what actually he was going to, but actually no one plays like this. So he should have, maybe this move is possible, but the problem with this move is that actually it starts fight immediately. And the problem is that here, it's hard to say, but potentially white can have more territory, and especially if he connects, as opposed to black's stuff here. So the problem with this move is not even that it starts fight straight ahead. It's not the major problem, because even probably black doesn't understand that, let's say, so I played here. So if say black goes for this sort of a thing and captures, then white would be absolutely happy because white is now looking for this big moyo, while black only have something like this. So white is okay to sacrifice the stone for this thickness and for the influence towards the rest of the board like this. So this is absolutely okay, and that's the reason why actually trying to surround this stone and actually trying to capture this stone doesn't really make sense. Okay, so what happened in the game? I did play there, indeed, and again, so here I actually decided to trick my opponent a little bit. So I just decided to see what is he going to be doing, and it turned out that so I thought that he would sacrifice the stone, and actually here, I don't know, maybe he plays something like this, and if I capture, then like this, and actually this stone is dead, this group is dead after. So obviously I wouldn't go for this because it's hard to say how to make two eyes here. So I wouldn't go for that obviously. So if he plays like this, most likely I won't capture. I would probably instead go for something like this, and then if he captures, again the same thing. So even if he tries to go for this one, still like go ahead, I would still try to build this, try to build territory here, just even sacrificing a couple of stones, because I have 5.5 kami, so I can allow myself to sacrifice a couple of stones as white to have this positional advantage here. Okay, this didn't happen in the game, however, so he actually he did the worst thing possible here. He started defending the stone that he shouldn't be defending, so it's like misunderstanding of the fight. So I'm doing this just to not to fight him, not to grab the stone, but actually to have a better position. That's the major thing I have in mind. All right, and here another a little bit strange thing to consider, because what he does here, I'm not sure actually what is he trying to achieve. Maybe it's trying to surround me and kill these two groups, which seems quite weak, but well, anyway, maybe I don't know. So well, actually he is quite successful at this point, and I need to be really careful because my group is currently dead, and it actually may die all of the time. But here is the move. Here is an interesting move. So probably after playing this, he shouldn't. Well, actually, it's really hard to say because this fight is really not in his favor. So he blocks. I am attacking this stone, and then I'm doing this cut. And actually here already, white is not. It's not the matter of just capturing the stones. It's the matter of making the second eye. So just to make sure that this group of stone is going to be alive after. So this is doomed because simply black is losing the race of captures. So white simply captures. So at this point, I don't even know. So well, definitely black should have played something like this, I believe, and this would never happen. So if white goes here, black proceeds. White can go here, but then actually black plays here and maybe here, and yeah, this is going to be a ladder. Well, I'm not sure. So white actually needs to round to survive because it doesn't have a room to make two eyes, and now this group becomes really weak because black actually has an advantage here. So yeah, definitely black should have Atari from bottom here. So black should have Atari from here, and this is a horrible mistake to actually Atari here, just giving white chance to win, and actually now white is much better already. So yeah, he had a chance, and this invasion kind of did make sense, even though it looks weird. I don't have those skills to prevent that. And yeah, here it's probably just a blunder. So here he probably just had to do something like this, and here maybe I don't know, maybe here, right? So just trying to reduce white as much as he can, and then maybe somewhere here. Oh, it's just white to move. Okay, so white to move. Well, I would go somewhere like I don't know, probably. Yeah, this is gonna be a trouble for. This is gonna be a trouble for black. Yeah. So yeah, he needs to be careful here. He really needs to be careful. But again, like this move is a real mistake because it just gives white a chance to leave, and this blunder is also not that great. And now, the point is that objectively, I believe that black had an advantage here in terms of fight, but because of just blindly trying to fight without calculating variations much, without understanding what exactly he's doing and why, this is the biggest reason. So if you fight, you need to know why do you do that. So you probably need to achieve some positional advantage. It almost doesn't make sense to fight just to capture the stones, because Go is not about capturing the stones. Go is about making territory, right? And here again, so he blunders another stone. So here, instead of playing this move, he probably should have just tried to protect. And now this stone is not going anywhere. So I would go for something like this currently. Then if it closes, well, it's not a good time to do that basically. So this stones, I don't see much reason to try to save this stones. So I don't know. It's just these stones are just that because there is not enough space to make two eyes here. And then he probably should have, I don't know, just even instead of actually here already. So if white plays something like this, so black just should go and try to make some territory here, for instance. And then if white goes here, then again he should try to live somehow. So yeah, now he lives at very least. So now, yeah, so in this case he potentially may make some territory on top here, potentially maybe going somewhere over in here. So it's not clear. Sorry to say, but what he did is really awful, because he just lost to capture these 2 stones, and this move is even more weird because this group would never leave, and he's trying to solidify, but it doesn't make any sense completely. And this move again, so it just shows that the person probably doesn't know about the 2 eyes completely, right? So yeah, and just here, I just wanted to make sure that these stones are dead. And starting from this move, I'm actually already looking for making some territory. So what actually did black achieve with all of these fights out of the beginning? The black only has this corner, and he has something strange here. Well, this is thickness, and if there were no white stones here, he could have extended. So if this was a 19 by 19 board, this could have made a bit more sense, but on 13 by 13 board, it's not actually doing much here, right? So now again, you see, like, black is trying to attack the white stone that he would grab anyway, and so here again he should have tried to make some territory, like here for instance. Then I don't know, if white goes here, then black can go here. Well, it's not a good idea. So maybe just go in here and like yeah, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere like this, and then white tries to maybe even try to grab some more, so black also goes. So something like this should have happened basically. So I'm not sure about this stone, so probably it leaves, but it's hard to say. Yeah, this stone is dead, but yeah, but these stones are kind of alive. Well, that's not good. Okay, so this should be like something like this. So black should start instantly fighting for territory, because white already has all of this, because these stones are dead and these stones are dead as well, and white also have this part. Well, black has nothing, so black really should try to make some territory here and here. And in this case, the game would be more or less equal. It's still probably lost for black, but it's a little bit more equal. So what happened next is, so yeah, he's making another strange move, trying to. So he's fighting again. He's fighting, but this fight does nothing bad to whites, and it just loses the scope of the game. It loses the territory. And finally, he understands that he needs to do something. But here again, he's trying to surround my stones or something. But the more moves he makes, the more attacks he considers, the more he solidifies my stones here. So you see, like, it just builds this border. And he does this. I'm doing this like as the side effect. So that's clear. All right, so finally he starts making some territory on the bottom and just blunders another stone, and we're pretty close to the end of game here. And yeah, just making the borders, and this is it. This is the entire game. So you see, like, black made a whole lot of moves which didn't really make any sense at all. Well, he had some options to actually capture this group, so this group could die if black was playing precisely and actually calculating the variations. But yeah, this blind fighting is leading to nowhere really. And now I just spent a little bit like more time than I would think than I thought that I would have spent on this game. So let's go to the second game. I will try to walk through this game a little bit faster, because not really that many variations here to be considered, and actually instead I just want to show you like how exactly the same mistake my opponent was doing. This time I was playing black, so exactly the same mistake. So opponent was attacking my stones, and it actually allowed me to grab the territory. So that was just as a side effect. I didn't even need to do this intentionally, and meanwhile he was leaving tons of dead stones. So let's have a look how this game went. So it's really similar, I need to say. So the opening is so at this point, so yeah, up to this point the opening is really okay. So black, white is going for this corner, potentially here. White would probably like to build something here. Black black wants to build something here and grab the corner if possible. So it's pretty standard, pretty okay for both sides. But starting from this move, you see like white jumps straight ahead into the fight without ever realizing what is it doing basically. So yeah, when I see moves like this, I'm getting extremely confused because I don't really know how to properly respond to those moves. Because if you're not careful, if you're just angry because of that, you most likely would lose. So here I needed just to come down and start calculating. And it turned out that, you see, like I was too passive here, which allowed white to actually surround me, right? But here, so here he misses that it's gonna be the double Atari. So here he should play things like this, right? And in this case, well, I probably am not sure, but yeah, probably, yeah, this at very least this just stops white from this weird attack he's going for. So I don't know, it's hard to say what would happen. This would be a completely different game, but he actually blunders this, and it just allows me to play this double Atari. So see, like this stone is now attacked, and as well as this one. So I have one eye. It's false eye at the moment, but I'm doing my best to actually try to build two eyes as soon as I can. Meanwhile, don't forget to actually the scope of the game, try to make some territory. And again, he attaches here, so instead of actually trying to make some territory on his own, he doesn't have any territory at the moment. So black potentially have this small territory here. Black potentially have this territory. White doesn't have anything. So you just have one stone and just group of stones which do nothing really. So in this regards, so again, so it starts again the same, and again black, like I'm trying to grab some territory while white is trying to kill my stones, which doesn't kind of make sense, right? So here I just wanted to make sure that I actually, so yeah, here is an interesting point. So he was actually going to capture all of these stones. So if he plays here and then here, then he captures those stones. So I prevent that, but he still makes this move for some unknown reason. It doesn't kind of work well. Maybe he wants to have some influence, potential, like using this thickness. This thickness is nice to maybe influence like here at some point. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. That could be the case. And here I just make two eyes. Actually, I have three eyes here. So I can't say 100% that this shape is alive, but I really hope so. At very least, it didn't die during the game. And again, you see, like every move I make, he goes straight away into the fight. You see, like he just fights. He does nothing else but fights. But you just have a look what happens by the time he's fighting. So by the time he's fighting, he's actually creating a border that eventually, so he creates this border here, which eventually allows me to have more points. So he doesn't make any points with this sort of a thing. This doesn't make points, while black's border actually does this points. That's not much, but anyway, that's quite important to understand, right? And again the same. So this is all the same. So so here I made a sacrifice. So yeah, probably instead of playing here, I definitely should have just protect this cut. That was my bad. But anyway, so here, see, like I'm not trying to save the stone because this would most likely be in white's favor. So instead, I'm still making territory. So I sacrifice the stone to make territory, right? So you see, like I've just made even more territory here, right? While white is not doing much. So white only have this, but it just takes so many stones to build such a little territory. So it's really inefficient. Okay, and here we continue things. So yeah, it just blundered. Yeah, so here, it's actually another double Atari. So after this move, you see, like he fights. He's trying to capture my stone, and he doesn't see that the next move is gonna be double Atari. So this stone or this stone is gonna be dead after. So this is wrong. Instead, he should have played defensive move. So instead, he should have played here. And if I play here and he plays here, it's still kind of okay. So doesn't lose that many points here. But yeah, he just fights. So he fights and he blunders this doubletary and loses a stone. And this actually gives me I can come into the center in this way, right? So I shouldn't be going here. So even though just all the stones, but I just took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points from white's territory potentially, right? So again, the same thing. You see, like he's trying to fight this. He's trying to fight this stone. What's the reason to fight that stone if you lose the entire left side here potentially and the upside? So you're literally losing anything. So that's why it's so bad to fight without any reason for doing that. Basically, just fight for fight. That you just die after. You lose if you fight in that way. That's not smart and doesn't make any sense, right? So black still tries to make some territory, and you see, like, it's all the same. So just this exactly the same thing that has happened in the previous game. So black attack, white's attack is actually what it does. It solidifies the black's border, right? And this is interesting. So it's probably this guy also doesn't know about making two eyes, because I'm really wondering how is it going to live with these stones. So it doesn't seem that these stones actually have enough space to leave. If he wants to invade like this, I believe probably he had to play something like he probably had to play something like this to actually threaten these stones. And I don't know, maybe like maybe trying to go, well, it doesn't work, but I don't even know. This cut, well, doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know, like what he does. Yeah, so he just again the same. He just wants to capture the stones. Okay, close. And again, and he just gives me more dead stones like this, right? So this move is interesting. So the idea is, if actually I don't play there, so let's say I play somewhere, and white plays in this, and let's say I play somewhere here, then well, I'm not sure whether this is already a live shape. Yeah, probably. Yes, actually it is. So this doesn't work. Yeah, so this is definitely a live shape. So this is not an option. So I shouldn't play like that. So I just probably play here, and if I play here, yeah, now this might be a problem for whites. Yeah, this might be a problem. So now it dies. Now it really dies. Yeah, and so yeah, white has problem here. But anyway, I actually didn't want to go that far, and just to prevent that, I put a stone so that there is no way for white to make even one eye. And what he does, it just gives me more stones here, right? So again, it just gives me more stones. Okay, so here, just solidifying the border again, and solidifying the border here as well. And another crazy move. So well, probably well, actually this one makes sense. So eventually white try to live in this corner, and actually white should live in that corner, but for some reason, probably because he wasn't focused on living in the corner, and instead it was focused on trying to capture my stones, like you see here. So it just tries to capture my stones, and he doesn't even see that his stones actually getting captured eventually. And again, so you see, like, he just puts the stone. So here he potentially might make two eyes. If probably, I'm not sure if he plays here, for instance. Is this gonna help? Well, probably. Maybe not really. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Right? So now he thinks that he has two eyes, but he doesn't have two eyes because this is the false eye, so I can capture it, right? And that's exactly what I'm going for. And again, you see, like, again, he can't do nothing to this. So he wants to grab this stones by putting the stone here. But again, I win the race of capture because I'm focused on territory while he's focused on fighting for nothing. Right. So, and going even further on, and again, this group is doomed because like, why do you put the stone here? It's not gonna leave. It's not gonna leave. And he resigned here. He resigned at this point. Or actually, no, we passed at this point, or I'm not even sure. But anyway. So that's the game. It's like exactly the same thing happens. And yeah, so I believe that bearing in mind the scope of the game of Go, which is making territory, should always be the major thought in your head when you're playing, because otherwise you can you can end up like these players I've been playing against. So hopefully this sort of a video motivates the beginner players. Hopefully it makes sense. If any professional players or those who play much stronger than my 23rd Q have anything to like criticism or whatever, criticism is very welcome. I'm learning, I'm studying every day. So if you have any tips on what I did wrong here, then kindly please let me know. There would be links for both games in the description. So if you're kind to review these games from the perspective where you notice something that I didn't, that's very appreciated. This is it from my side. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, and take care.